Hello guys, so this video I wanted to make for absolutely ages, and to be totally honest with you, when I first had my daughter I just did not feel up to it. I tried to film a video when she was about 2 weeks old. I actually filmed the video, but then I just could not fit the time into edit. I have a ridiculous amount of respect for YouTubers who update their baby's journey all the way from newborn upwards. Sorry about the noise in the background. She is a toddler and ridiculously loud. So, without further ado, here is Florence. Florence, do you want to come in here and have a cuddle? Come and have a cuddle. Cuddle! Yay! Say hi! You say hi! Hi! She's not going to say hi. But this is Florence. She is now 20 months old. He's 20 months old, you're such a big girl. And it has been a delight and one of the hardest things of my life being her mum. And I'm sure it's exactly the same for her dad as well. Or in fact, I know it is. I went into labour 7 days overdue. Until 9 days overdue, so it was like 38 hours I think I was in labour for. It was a really bizarre experience. I remember at the time thinking, I never want to do this again. Actually, I don't know if I want the baby. This is absolutely horrendous. How do people do this a second time round? And then the strangest thing happens, you meet your baby and all of a sudden giving birth is absolutely beautiful and amazing, and it's the best experience you've ever had. And I look back on it with absolute fondness now, but I know at the time it was a nightmare. I had a very straightforward labour. I was in a pool for most of it, which I really loved, and had a bit of gas and air towards the end because I needed that, and I can't wait to have that again one day. It was amazing. And when she came out, she had all this black hair and she was absolutely beautiful. She was just even better than I could ever imagine. So I'll try and... Florence, do you want to play with something else? What could you play with? You could play with Mr. Hippo, couldn't you? Ah! So I'll try and remember some milestones, but 20 months of motherhood just makes you forget anything that's not relevant anymore and just focus on the new things you have to learn constantly. So she started feeding solids at 4 months old because I was breastfeeding her exclusively. I would make baby rice out of my breast milk, lovely, and just to get her used to the taste a bit more. And then she soon moved on to, I used to use Ella's Kitchen and Hip Organic, which she loved, and she seemed to love things like the tomatoey ones a bit more. Didn't you? You like pasta? And now she absolutely loves avocado. She's so close to the tripod, it scares me. Don't keep the tripod, Florence. She also really loves cheese, don't you? Do you like cheese? And you like peas. So I've been really lucky that she will just try anything, pretty much anything we put in front of her. Yay! She's biting off the rhino's horn at the moment. Anyway, yeah, so as I mentioned before, I was breastfeeding. I breastfed exclusively up to 9 months, and then I was going back to work, so I would breastfeed when I was with her, but when she was with her dad, you would have a bottle. So I tried expressing, but really I was too lazy to express and then put it in a bottle or freeze it or anything. I will probably try that next time if I can, because I would like to do that, but we just moved on to formula and we used Cowgate formula. About a year old, I weaned her off breastfeeding because I was so tired. She used to wake me up twice in the night still for a feed. She still has a bottle once in the middle of the night, and quite honestly, I would train her not to, but I don't think she's going to be doing this forever. And we're okay, we don't mind getting up once in the middle of the night. Obviously, if we had the choice, we wouldn't, but it's not forever. So we don't mind. Well, yes, we do. Also, she started walking the week before her first birthday. Crawling around 8 months, and she started standing up around the same time. And you surprised Mummy, didn't you? Because the first time she managed to pull herself up, she pulled herself up on the sides of her cot, and I walked out of the room for a second, came back in. She'd somehow managed to climb out of the cot, and she was lying on our bed, and I was on the brink of a heart attack. It was so scary. So needless to say, we lowered the cot out to the bottom after that. So she is just a big climber. She's a little monkey. She likes to climb everywhere. So we have to be really careful all the time. In terms of grapes, we for the longest time went to baby signing, and I can't recommend it enough. It was absolutely brilliant. She didn't learn that many signs. She learnt birdie. Florence, can you do birdie? Can you do birdie? 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 She will not do it now. I sound like one of those crazy mums quite often because I say she can do something and then she will never do it in front of people, and I just look like I make things up. I don't, I promise. So she can do birdie, and she can do, what else could you do? You could do monkey. Monkey? Woo. I was going with 2 of my best mum friends, so I was having a good time. She was having a good time with her best friends, and it was just a really lovely experience, so I can't recommend that enough. We go to rhyme time at the library as well. That's nationwide, so you can just go to your local library, and once a week normally they do a rhyme time, so we do that. And she absolutely loves to sing, don't you?
Wonder what you are up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
So Florence has got a really exciting thing coming up because Mummy and Daddy are getting married, aren't they? And Florence is going to be our bridesmaid. Yeah, so that's exciting. We're going to see how she's going to behave walking down the church aisle, but we don't know. We don't hold out too much hope because she is a little explorer, and you like to explore everywhere, don't you? Hard to remember things, like I said before, because motherhood, it just throws you into this absolute other world where like the first few months is just like a really steep learning curve. No one can prepare you for what it's like to be a parent. It is just the hardest thing I imagine that you'll ever do, but also the most enjoyable thing. The enjoyable parts to it are far and few between when they're first born because it's such a demanding role. I found breastfeeding so hard when I started. I thought it would be so easy. I thought you just put the baby there and they do their business, but no, it is just so hard. I didn't know that sleepless nights would mean like you would literally have 2 hours sleep sometimes, not even that. I didn't know like what my body was going to go through after childbirth. When it happens, it's just incredible what you learn, how you can cope with things, how you can cope with looking after someone all day long, but also at the same time not having practically any sleep at night time. Still haven't had a full night's sleep yet, and she's 20 months old. So it's just incredible the things you can go through. I'm also absolutely amazed at my boyfriend. He is just amazing. He does more than me sometimes, and I'm so lucky to have him. He's a brilliant dad, and Florence is so lucky to have him as a dad.
Yeah.
Actor nominee lineup.
And here's Florence. Hello Florence, how are you doing there?
Yay! Smile!
But of course we are very lucky to have her too.
Oh, look, you're not very happy now, are you? No.
She also had her first haircut, so she was born with the most crazy amount of hair and it never fell out, so it just kept growing. So we let it grow as long as possible, but it was getting so much in her face. So we took her to the hairdressers and got her a little fringe. I'm a big fan of a fringe, as you can tell, I normally have one. So she's got such a big vocabulary now, like I'm sure most children do her age. She likes to say no a lot. And she likes to do all the animal noises. She can count to 10.
Hey? Yeah, go on. Yeah, mummy.
Another thing I'd really like to talk about is co-sleeping, because I think it's important that people do talk about it and people don't feel ashamed if they do it. We do it, we've always done it. I mean, we've tried to put her in a cot as much as possible and she always starts off the night in there, but she always ends up in our bed. Had to do it, Florence! I mean, sometimes it's extremely uncomfortable and we're squashed either side while she's starfishing in the middle. But I think it's really important that people talk about it and that people are open about it, because our experience of it is that we felt like we should be extremely ashamed of doing it. I did have 1 or 2 health visitors that were very supportive of it, but I had some health visitors who were extremely dismissive dismissive of it and said we shouldn't do it. And so in that respect, yes, I understand it's a huge risk sometimes if you're not doing it properly. But in another way, if people don't tell their health visitors that they are doing it and they do it incorrectly because they're not allowed to talk about it, I think it can be a huge problem. You know, there's no right or wrong way, like whether you do it or not. That's just my experience on it, and I want people to know that if you are doing it, don't feel ashamed and still talk to your health visitor about it, because it's important that you get the right advice on it. So, it was really nice to introduce Florence to you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Say bye!